Yeah, we really focus on education of LearnOps as a driver. So content marketing, whether it's webinars, blogs, ebooks, etc. Um, so call that tier two, and tier one would be the call to action, start a trial, talk to sales. So that's how we're set up today. You know, different tiers have different SLA reply times by the SDR team, and they'll qualify to the AEs. Traditional kind of inbound model.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the B2B SaaS Podcast. I'm your host, Upendra Verma, and today we have Ryan Austin with us. Hey, Ryan, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
All right, Ryan, let's get started and let's try to understand what your company does and why customers pay you money.
Sure. So we're a B2B, we're an enterprise SaaS product, really paving the way as the first LearnOps platform, selling to corporate learning and development teams.
All right, and can you talk a bit about these teams in particular, right? Who exactly are these teams? Are they, just talk about a couple of use cases maybe?
Sure. We focus on organizations, 1,000+ employees. A lot of the times, these enterprises, they already have what's called a learning management system in place. Um, think of the learning management system as the delivery platform within the corporate learning and development function. And we're the operation platform to manage actual work. So, in other business functions like DevOps or RevOps, think of the operating systems in those fields. We're the operating system for corporate learning and development.
Got it. And do your customers create content on your platform, or is it you also providing, some sort of basic content in that LMS?
Yeah. We don't really do anything with content creation or content delivery. We leave those to the authoring tools and to the learning management systems. We're really a work hub for the learning and development function.
Got it. Right, so let's move on to your customer base, right? I want to understand, how
Sure.
many. So just help me understand, right? How many customers do you have on your platform as of today?
I think we're at 108 corporations
And
to date.
mhm. And all of these are big enterprises with 1,000+, customers, 1,000+ employees, maybe.
Yeah, and it's really difficult in L&D. We L&D people pay us per seat, and different companies have different sized L&D teams. Often it's very decentralized. So the bigger the company, the more L&D teams they have. It's not even just one L&D team.
Yeah. And then, like, approximately, just how many seats do you have on your platform as a whole? Is it like 100,000 or something, or is it?
I'd have to check. I'm not even
Sure.
sure.
Yeah. All right.
Well,
So
we
so
have about 108 enterprise customers,
got
roughly.
it. Got it. And then just help me explain, right, how big these deals are, right? So I'm assuming it's thousands of people using your platform per company. I know there's going to be a big spread, right? But approximately how big of an ACV deals are we talking about? Is it $10,000? Is it $100,000? Is it $1,000,000? Like, approximately where do you sort of close your
Yeah,
typical deal?
as we continuously mature the product, the ACVs grow significantly. This time last year it was really small, like sub 10, and last month our average contract value was over 50. Um, uh, where our whole model is land and expand.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll come to
So
that
you'll
in a bit.
see,
Maybe if you can just let us know where it is. Is it $50,000 as of today? I know you're going to grow and all of it, right? But
well, as of last month, 50K. Yeah.
50K. Got it. All right. So are you comfortable sharing your revenue, or let's move on?
Yeah, no, we
All
can't
right,
do
all right,
that.
yeah. So let's move on, right? So I want to specifically focus on your sales motion and your retention and expansion strategy. But before
Sure.
that, I also want to touch upon your top of funnel lead generation, right? So where exactly are you sort of finding all of these enterprises, strictly from a top of funnel lead generation perspective? What is that first touch point for every new customer who's getting onboarded? Just talk about that
Yeah,
marketing strategy of
yeah,
yours.
yeah. We really focus on education of LearnOps as a driver. So content marketing, whether it's webinars, blogs, ebooks, etc. Um, so call that tier two, and tier one would be the call to action, start a trial, talk to sales. So that's how we're set up today. You know, different tiers have different SLA reply times by the SDR team, and they'll qualify to the AEs. So traditional kind of inbound model. However, this year we're launching a freemium product in the first community for on learnops.com. So those will be really nice top down optimizers for market capture.
Right. But as of today, it's primarily this content marketing that you have, right? So you've got a bunch of
Yep.
blogs and all of it, and it's just driving all of that content.
Yeah. 80% inbound,
And what about the rest 20%?
outbound.
And are these emails like, or how do you sort of?
Yeah. Combination, like we use outreach as a platform. So combination of email, social, and telephone calls.
Got it. So now let's move on to your, sales cycle and bottom of funnel, right? So once somebody discovers you,
Sure.
once they realize that, okay, this is an interesting platform, what happens after that? Just talk through that entire sales cycle. Maybe you could just pick a customer or so to help us really understand what happens during those, discussions and negotiations as well.
Yeah. So it really depends who the job title is and if they're hitting tier one or tier two. Um, if it's tier one, often we'll just use a calendar scheduler, uh, and go right to the AE, especially if they're within the ideal customer profile. We rank, it gets a high score. So sometimes we'll just assume that it's qualified, skip the SDRs, go right to the account executives. In other times, it just depends. Are they hitting tier one or tier two? Tier two being just content leads. These aren't people who have asked to speak to sales.
Yeah.
They're just getting educated. So we usually leave them alone. But if they hit a piece of content 3-4 times, then somebody will reach out with more of the understanding of asking why. Like, why have you been looking up that content? What are you trying to look for? How can we help you? We often try and have a 24-hour response time SLA to those leads because, again, they're not hand raisers saying, I'm ready, talk to me. Tier one leads being free trials or talk to sales. We'll take a sales assisted approach to those to help guide them through the trial if that's the path they took, or to help qualify to put them in touch with the right account executives, depending on their needs as well.
Right. And like, what's the typical sales cycle? Once it goes to an account executive, what happens? So like, how much time
Yeah,
does
like
it really take to close that first deal?
90 to 100 days. And we're very focused at constantly driving down those timelines.
Mhm. Got it. And what really happens during those 90 to 100 days? Is it just convincing them? Maybe do you have any POVs because they've already signed up for a trial or something?
No POVs. The trial is that, it's really about navigating evaluation, building out the ROI business case. We have a nice ROI calculator at Cognota, and just helping them on their journey, navigating not only to build the business case internally and where to get budget, but also just info security and legal, right? You
Got it.
selling to big companies, you have to have a trust center. You have to have your info security and auditing process like down pat.
Yeah. So I missed a question asking you a question, right? So like exactly
Sure.
12 months before, right? How many customers did you have on your platform approximately?
About 40.
40. So you've grown by around 60 customers or so in the last 12 months, something like that.
Yeah, like about 155% annualized growth rate. And it should be better this year.
Got it.
We're not
So now
really
my
seeing any
question is, right?
impact.
So to be able to close these 60 new deals, right? So how much of your top of funnel sort of leads did you actually needed, right? How many sort of came to your tier one, whatever that you call, and how many came to your tier two, and what's the conversion rate like? Because like 60 deals, I'm assuming given the 10%, you should have poured at least 600 thousands of leads in that funnel, right? So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
how
yeah,
does that number look like?
we're pushing to get like our win rates towards 25,
25.
30% this
Got it.
year.
And this is from the first touch point The moment you classify them as a tier one
From a qualified
qualified,
sales accepted lead perspective.
got it.
We don't really measure outside of that because again, a lot of them are just like content viewers and whatnot. And part of being a category creator for LearnOps is that you're going to get a lot of people just learning about the category, learning about what LearnOps is. And we don't want to bug those people. We just want them to know that we're available to help them along their journey if they need help.
Got it. All right, we'll come to that category creation part in a while, right? So just
Sure.
want to understand your retention and expansion strategy as well, right? The moment you close a deal, you mentioned it's primarily land and expand for you, and you talked about how your ACV grew from like 20K to 50K over the past 1 year. Just talk about what happens the moment you sort of close that, first deal with the customer, right? Maybe with a smaller team. How do you sort of manage to expand that account?
Yeah, it's we have a dedicated account management team that's just focused on working in partnership with customer success. And anytime people need new seats or upsells or additional products, account management comes in, and they focus specifically on expansion. Um, they don't get involved in anything else, and they carry targets and whatnot annually as well. So we we often will land with one L&D team, and through customer success and account management, we'll try and find other use cases with other learning and development teams that are in the business or part of affiliate businesses, cross sell as well.
Right. So, and like, how does your expansion rate look like as of today? So, what's your NRR, for example?
About 145%.
45%. And like how big of a churn do you have? I'm not expecting it's going to be a big number given the scale of
10%. We're sitting at like I think a 91 or 92% logo retention right now.
and that's per year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, got it. All right. So yeah, so let's go back to your category creation part in a while, right? So why do you say you're a category creator? Like were you literally the first one into this space with this positioning? Is that how it was?
Yeah, for LearnOps, we actually own the trademark as well,
Yeah.
and we license it to channel partners who become trusted partners to build the category together. Because in learning and development, um, there's a red ocean in the learning management system space, and it's crazy. You'll see people just trying to close their next deal, and they'll just throw out marketing content without just to try and win the deal and almost lie to customers to
Yeah.
say, "Oh, we're a LearnOps platform," and they're not, right? So we've built a strong IP moats in order to deter this from becoming a buzzword. It's too mission driven, and we want to responsibly build the category for the industry with other vendors and experts who want to shape this with us. And so we license it to them for free under partnership, and we build it together.
Got it. And put this on a timeline for me, right? When did you start the company and when did you actually sort of decided to become a category creator? When was it?
Yeah, it's interesting because it's not a clear path of with this company for sure. So I actually had a consulting service business in L&D, helping L&D teams where I stumbled across this problem.
Mhm.
And in 2017, we started thinking about software, not knowing that this was going to become an operating system. We started with one feature, and from 2017 to 2019, we sold that one feature to a bunch of people, small ACVs, because it was a single feature to one person on the L&D team, one user profile. But in doing that, we started seeing this bigger problem to solve about becoming an operating system. So from 2019 to the end of 2021, we really focused on building out the end-to-end LearnOps platform. And when we got there, we realized, it wasn't really enterprise ready. There was challenges because of how you have to sell into learning and development. And so we rebuilt the platform, launched it last year, and it's been like crazy since then.
And when did you actually coin this, term LearnOps platform? When was it?
We did it for a while, but
Mhm.
we rebranded the company from Synapse to Cognota in 2022, and that's when we formally kind of made the announcement at the beginning of the second half of the year, so H2. We formally announced the new positioning and the new brand with the V2 product
Yeah, and
all
you,
at
but you still
once.
carried over all of your older customers to the new product, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Got it. All right. Yeah. So I'm assuming creating a new category, it must require a lot of external funding, right? So what's your funding status as of today?
Yeah, we've raised I think around 7 million. Um, just signed a term sheet for our Series A, so we'll announce that soon. And yeah, just really pushing on community and freemium this year, as well as optimizing everything
So
that's
why
working in
why
the
would you go
business.
from enterprise, sales motion to, let's say, a freemium, or why would you go down market? What's the plan there, or what's the thought process there?
Yeah, so we get hit up by a lot of the smaller L&D teams, and it's not that we can't help them. We can. It's just it's not good for our business model from a unit economics perspective.
Yeah.
But they're also good evangelizers. They're going to talk about us, and because we're mission driven, we don't like to say we can't help you. So we're going to automate that part to help them. That way, it doesn't distract salespeople, and it helps us, build the category more at scale. Sometimes you'll see a manager of L&D or a director of learning and development working at a customer that we don't, or a company that we don't consider our ideal customer profile today.
Mhm.
And then they leave that company, and then you track them, and
Yeah.
2 months later, they're, the director of learning and development at Disney, for example, right? Which is in our ICP. So there's a lot of that happens in our industry. And so it's just a really nice way to help the industry, but also, continue with category leadership.
And where you want to put this new raised funds into? Is it into marketing? Is it into sales?
This year, there's still building to do. So, building out community, freemium, couple features that we're really excited about around learning strategy and measurement. And next year, it's really to just pour, you know, pour fuel on the sales fire.
All right. Got it. All right, Ryan. So one last question here, right? So what's the vision here? Where do you see your company going in, let's say, 5 years down the line?
Yeah, I mean, we really look at a 10-year vision. This isn't a business that we're trying to flip and exit right away. Like, I would prefer to take this company public one day.
And
Uh,
why
and
not
it,
just flip it? Do you have any personal reason for that?
I've sold company this
Okay.
before,
So you're a second time
and
founder.
yeah, I mean, you get back to work, right?
Mhm.
I'm still young. I'm not going to retire, and I think it's pretty incredible that we came across something that just literally did not exist in the
Yeah.
world at all. And we're first. And the emails and the comments that we see from our industry, it just shows you how impactful or mission driven what we're doing is for this industry, which is still very immature compared to other business functions. So if we hang tight and help them to mature and help them on that journey, I mean, the really the world's our oyster. Like, there's so much we can do in this business, and we want to play that out.
Got it. All right. All right, Ryan. Thanks for taking the time to talk to me. Hope you scale Cognota to much, much greater heights.
Thank you. Thank you. This was a lot of fun. I appreciate your time.
Thanks for watching the B2B SaaS Podcast channel. I believe that the best way of building SaaS companies is by regularly talking to real founders who are out there building their companies. These founders have gained tons of insights during their journey, and I'm here to bring those to you. So if you want more such stuff, please make sure to subscribe to the channel here.